Dun 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 dun, the franchise is dead. Da 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 da, and bury it. Hey everybody, welcome to Twin Talk, a video discussion show where twin brothers Chris and Kevin drink and draw while talking about comic books, movies, and all things pop culture. We are your hosts, Chris Hart,
Kevin Hart,
and today we are talking about Jurassic World Dominion.
Unfortunately. Stick around to the end of the episode to see how our drawing of a pterodactyl came out. And if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel for more content. Chris, I'll say this. Thank God for AMC and McGuffin's Bar for the idea of the T-Rex. It's basically just an LIT, Long Island iced tea representing... Let's get lit, baby. Because
it found its way home.
Life finds a way. We gon' need it.
Jurassic World Dominion is a 2022 film starring Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, alongside the cast of the original Jurassic Park. It is once again written and directed by Colin Trevorrow, who directed the first Jurassic World film, which we thought was a pretty awesome movie. A lot of fun, highly entertaining film. This is the follow-up to Fallen Kingdom, which we thought was pretty atrocious. I thought it was the worst of the franchise, and I was really looking forward to what they set up, dinosaurs being loose in the world.
We thought it was
and
gonna
I
be
was super
necessary
interested
evil.
and hyped based on the trailers for this movie. I thought this movie was going to be awesome. Between dinosaurs in our world, the legacy cast, and the trailers, this was ready to be summer blockbuster.
The summer blockbuster. Yeah. I was very excited about this movie. There are some things positive that to take away from it. We get the most dinosaurs in this one, but the least on-screen time of these dinosaurs, which is really frustrating. They try too hard with the humans in this one. Again, great cast, great chemistry. Just the story surrounding it is just so subpar. Worse than Fallen Kingdom, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate because Fallen Kingdom was such a... I hated that movie so much when I left the theater, and I was so excited for this movie. Years ago, I remember saying, I was like...
The dinosaurs are here.
I was like, I can't wait for that next movie. And now we're finally here, and I'm just pissed off, man. I want to have a conversation with Colin Trevorrow. I'm about to be like Alec Baldwin in the department, like, can I talk to you for a second?
Just beat the crap out of him.
Can I talk to you for a second, please? Stupid.
It genuinely aggravates me because this guy had so much time to craft his story. This was his baby, right?
These are the seeds of his story. That
these are the seeds of his story
wrote.
that he set up.
Yeah.
And I thought he did an awesome job with Jurassic World. While not being a 10 like the original movie, we gave it an 8.5. It was a highly entertaining,
movie.
Fun ride, and it was a great start for a new era of the Jurassic franchise. One of the things that we were really hyped about is that they released two almost short films / prologues leading up to this that were awesome.
Very cool. Yeah. Battle at
Big Rock or
Big
something
Rock?
like that?
Yeah, that was a 10-minute short film of what I wanted to see in this film was a horror story from a family perspective of like smaller scale of this family seeing these encounters with dinosaurs firsthand in what would be in our real life modern day world. Amazing stuff. I wish we got a 2-hour feature film of that concept.
And that was directed by Colin Trevorrow.
Written and directed by Colin Trevorrow. So the dude's got the potential because the dinosaurs all look great. The cast, I was very enthusiastic to see again. I was very pleased to see them. Alan and Ellie getting back together was amazing. Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum, the sex symbol that he is. Constant charm on screen. I love that guy.
Even just going back to like what we said about the prologues and the short films, there was a prologue they released 6 months ago, which we've seen in all the marketing, right? The T-Rex at the drive-in theater. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Great shot. That's the money shot of when it's roaring in front of the screen.
That's on the commercials. That's on the trailers.
Yeah, progressive.
Not even in the movie.
Yeah, and then like even just seeing that too, like how it segues from 65 million years ago. We see the dinosaurs interacting, fighting each other, just living in like, peace and harmony. And just doing their thing as dinosaurs, fighting each other, eating, surviving. And then we see the mosquito bite it, and then it says 65 million years later. And now we get to the Jurassic World, which is what this franchise has been building towards since the first movie. And it's just such a disappointment because those two short films and prologues are better than this entire film. Those things give us a promise of what's to come, and what eventually comes is such a major letdown that it's almost like... What was the point of this entire new franchise to begin with?
Kind of just went nowhere. Yeah, it was just like so much potential, so much new concepts that they were trying to go in that they could have gone in, and it just was like, I don't know, we threw it up, whatever landed, whatever stuck. Here it is, big budget. I just don't know. Was there a plan?
It reminds me of the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. Colin Trevorrow, I really thought like he was going to deliver on this. We knew he got fired from Star Wars for Episode 9, and I was like, all right, fine. We'll see what he has to deliver with Jurassic World Dominion, because now all of his attention is on this. And to see the final product is a major disappointment.
Frustrating. This guy delivers with the whole visuals, but that's not enough to carry a franchise. Positives were that the theater was loud, the seats were rumbling, and all the dinosaur moments that were on screen.
Epic.
As brief as it was, epic. You felt the speed, you felt the ferocity of these creatures, and that was really entertaining. Unfortunately, we get a story that's very trying to be international, and it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
And it's just that's where the head-scratching moments come in, and you're like, what am I watching here?
And I don't mind it because it does feel a lot like Fast and the Furious and Mission Impossible franchises.
James
Bond.
Bond,
where it's like globe-trotting. And I don't mind that eventually, but I wanted to see Jurassic World.
But why?
Because the franchise does need to grow eventually, and they need to go in new territories. But this was not the movie to do it in. I wanted to see the movie that we were promised at the end of Fallen Kingdom, which was dinosaurs on our territory. Yeah. How do we react to that? This wasn't that movie. It reminds me a lot of Batman vs Superman, where it's like that movie's focused so hard on Lex's convoluted plot and the bullet in Africa that it took away from Batman and Superman. This movie focuses so much on locusts
and clones.
Yeah, locusts and clones that we take away from the dinosaurs. So it's like those two, Batman vs Superman and Jurassic World Dominion, feel very similar in that they're two films that have such great potential that are sidelined by such convoluted scripts
that we're not there to see.
Yeah.
Show us your dinosaurs!
Let's get the rest of the positives out of the way. So far we got the chemistry between the legacy cast and the new cast is great. When they're on screen, you're smiling from ear to ear because nostalgia does kick in, right? When you see Ian Malcolm and Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, it's just, you can't help but be happy. When you see these dinosaurs doing epic dinosaur things and it's looking great on the big screen with the sound going and everything. There's an awesome making of behind the scenes featurette on YouTube talking about the practical effects, how they did this showcasing.
They did a lot more animatronics.
Yeah, they went back old school, going back to the Spielberg and Stan Winston days of making these practical things that you could believe in. And I think it does work in this movie. Michael Giacchino comes back. It's another win in his column, in his catalog, as far as I'm concerned. When it was playing in the end credits, we were vibing with it. We said that, wow, this music is awesome. It doesn't deserve this film. That's about it. Let's start with the thing that should drive every story, a good script. That is completely lacking here.
Characters.
And I blame Colin Trevorrow on this too. He dropped the ball in almost every way.
It detracts from itself. It sets up two films of, okay, we had the park, we made a mistake. Now, dinosaurs are being sold and being auctioned off. Now they're free, they're here. This whole clone thing, it's just so convoluted. The clone thing undoes itself.
To me, that's always been the natural evolution and progression of the story, is that mankind made dinosaurs. And I like that whole dichotomy of Lockwood and Hammond disagreeing on it, because
how would you use this power?
Yeah. You have the ability to do it. Why wouldn't you resurrect or make clones of people you loved? That's how it would go if people had the ability to do it.
That's fine.
I like that.
But when she stands up and she's 6 months pregnant, breastfeeding herself.
Yeah. And this is the daughter.
Makes no sense.
But this is the same daughter that we were told in the last movie she died in a car accident. And the grandpa Lockwood was tragic about it.
He recreated
her. And it just completely
unravels
spirals.
It's like, did they even watch the movie that they produced?
Made.
It's like, guys, come on.
Because I'll buy, as crazy as it is, I buy into that whole Lockwood Hammond daughter clone thing. I don't buy into this. Why would you impregnate yourself?
They were like, it's an exact replica of herself. It's a clone of herself. I'm like,
weird.
Someone please explain this to me.
Yeah,
because you're not getting this through to me. So that was
And she was a former employee of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World.
She had a genetic disease. It became very Amazing Spider-Man 2. Speaking of.
Yeah, Dodson.
We got Richard Parker here.
Yeah, this is the untold story that Sony promised us in the Amazing Spider-Man franchise.
This is where he landed when that plane went down.
This is it.
The thing that annoys me the most is that you have the perfect setup. Dinosaurs are free. Like we said, this is what I want to see. I want to see people dealing with this in their own ways and us acclimating ourselves. They fast forward 4 years, 4 years, and it's just our biggest problem now is giant 6-foot crickets that are eating seeds. It's like, oh, they're okay, whatever. They're destroying the food supply. I get that, but not the giant carnivorous T-Rex that is eating the cows that are,
That is our food supply.
delivering our food supply and all the different things. All of it would be interrupted with
almost,
dinosaurs
It's
here.
almost like in Jurassic World, but what does Chris Pratt say? They're dinosaurs. Wow enough.
Wow
right?
enough. Yeah.
Why? Why was locusts a subplot in this movie?
Not a subplot, a central element to the story.
But why? I don't understand. I really don't understand it. And we see that they're the product of Dodson, right? Richard Parker in this movie. I don't even know the actor's name. We're just going to call him Richard Parker. But Dodson makes a return in this, and he's responsible for the rival company to InGen is Biosyn, and they want, I guess, control the population of humanity.
They wanted people to buy their seeds.
So they use genetically engineered locusts to do that? What?
Yeah. If you go on Wikipedia and you read the plot of this movie, the more you read, the more frustrating, infuriating it becomes. You're like, guys.
It's such a waste of the legacy characters.
It's unbelievable.
It really annoys me.
And even if you were going to try and branch out into new territory, this was not the direction to go.
Yeah, I'm excited for new territory because, like I've been saying in the last few videos, I want to see like the movie after these movies where human beings might be completely extinct, where it's like
Terminated.
Yeah, we are on the run now from the thing that we created. Maybe do like Lex and Tim, right? The kids from the first movie. Maybe have their kids be the new generation that like our parents and our grandparents eliminated humanity. That would be such an interesting story in my opinion.
We're the minority, we're on the run.
Yeah.
And then we would have to find a way, kind of.
And it is a Jurassic World.
Yeah.
And they have to, hunt and survive and live and try to create a society which we destroyed.
Anything
but
what we
this.
got
Yeah.
would have been better. Could have watched two freaking T-Rexes playing tennis for 2 hours. It would have been a better cinematic moment.
With zero head, the ball just going behind them the entire time. I don't know the actress's name that plays the clone, but she's Maisie Lockwood. I think she's really strong for
All the
what she's
cast
doing.
is great.
Yeah. And speaking of Chris Pratt, this guy is unbeatable.
This guy is the Ray.
Leveled up.
This guy is the Ray of the franchise.
I buy into the yes.
This guy uses the Force, and he's just like
it's like a
controlling dinosaurs.
It's like when you hit the Y button in Arkham Asylum, he's just countering dinosaurs, like And I just don't get it. Like I buy into the fact that maybe he had a relationship with Blue and this group of raptors that he grew up in isolation with. But when they're in like the black market selling these dinosaurs and frickin' these huge dinosaurs are coming up to him and he's just doing this and this. Yeah. What are we supposed to believe in at this point? Like, it becomes so sci-fi cartoony.
Guy does it all, man.
And then there's a one scene in the movie too where Bryce Dallas Howard is being encountered by like multiple Dilophosauruses, and you think she's done for. This guy bare hand chokes the thing. He shows up like I said, like Superman. He just comes in there, destroys them, and they all run away. Yeah. Just ridiculous.
He is the alpha and the omega.
Exactly, yeah. The addition of the new cast too, like the pilot, I enjoyed her. We meet her in the
she was very
market.
cool. Yeah.
It almost becomes like Star Wars.
I got very lost in her eyes very quickly.
She we grew up with the toys of Jurassic Park, so it would be cool to have all these different characters and make your play sets. But the fact that the movie is so weak. Even being a kid going to see this, I would be like, "Mommy, what's happening? Why are there crickets on the screen?" And then the dinosaurs, we don't get into about an hour.
The dinosaurs are a side character in a franchise
built on dinosaurs.
Built on a Jurassic era. One of my favorite scenes, which is a bittersweet moment, the whole like James Bond Italian motorcycle chase.
Yeah. Pretty action-packed, not gonna lie.
Very entertaining, very high speed. I really like the fact that you could feel the speed of these velociraptors, which I think was hilarious, that we had to differentiate, because Blue is like, oh, we're going to make merchandise, we're going to make a cute velociraptor, we can coexist with this thing. We have to differentiate that velociraptors are carnivorous, like, evil creatures, because we gave them, like, eyebrows that were like, I was like, are you for real right now?
Bad raptors. It's just cool that, like, we have a dinosaur that we relate to as a character. Like, when Blue showed up in the beginning of the movie, like, oh, Blue, cool, like, that's so cool to me that we even have that.
I like that and I don't, because even at the end of this franchise, that was the whole real theme and point of this, if there was any, was that Chris Pratt and these raptors, Blue and the baby and this and that. Very convoluted, not great.
Yeah,
but like
the baby's so cute.
The baby's very cute. Baymax was his name or something.
Beta.
Baymax. The fact that like they leave him to go free in the forest or her in the forest. I was like, are we trying to like have a Fast and Furious moment here where they're driving family? I was like, are you expecting me to cry at a velociraptor now?
I told you last night too.
Not buying it.
When like even Jeff Goldblum says you made a promise to a dinosaur.
I'm glad that they like brought that out.
Acknowledged how cartoony it is, yeah. But then at the end when he finally does bring the baby Beta back to Blue, I turned to you, I was like, watch him hug this freaking thing. And they just say like they dab each other up, like, bro, have a good life.
Yeah, because
I was like, that's where we're at in the franchise.
Anything goes at this point, which leads us back to my favorite scene was the whole like
the action sequence in
the
Italy.
action scene because I could have swore when they were in the plane and he let the motorcycle go, this velociraptor was gonna ride this damn bike in midair and like parachute back. I was like, what can't they do
at that point? I would have mentally checked out and just like. In my head, it's like that meme of me just like spilled milk in my head. But that action sequence is really cool, though. Like I said in the trailers, it promises like high adventure, and I just thought it was so scary how fast that freaking raptor is on the top that's about to jump on top of him. Mm-hmm. And I love that Bryce Dallas Howard like takes it out by putting like that bar and it like clotheslines the raptor. Like that's all good stuff, and they shot that practically in the behind the scenes, and it is very reminiscent of like James Bond, Skyfall, or No Time to Die, and it's pretty cool. But it's just so cartoony. There's that one character in the black market where the CIA has a drop on her. I don't even know her name, but she's from the show Severance that we enjoy, and she is such a cartoon character in this movie that it's like so unreal.
Laser bracelets. The side characters we hated in Fallen Kingdom have made their way to the Central Intelligence Agency.
Yeah, and they try to man up that one character. Now he's got like a little bit more facial hair, no glasses. He's talking a little bit deeper in this movie, and you can just tell that they're like, yeah, you were Even just going back to favorite scenes, last night when we were in the theater, we sat around at the MacGuffin's bar at the AMC Theater. I was struggling to find a favorite scene. My favorite scene probably has to be, and even I have issues with this scene too, but we introduced to a new like feathery dinosaur that is running on the ice that's cracking. I thought that was a pretty cool scene. There's a lot of issues with it as far as like believability and like, you know, Chris Pratt would be dead.
Even then, like what you see in the trailer is what you get, kind of.
Yeah, it goes under the ice.
It doesn't do more,
and it like zooms in on their feet to show that it's missing their feet and they're running. Chris Pratt is soaking wet in like the snow.
I mean, Chris Pratt in general, this guy's just knocking things over. This guy's like, you like Imagine Dragons.
This guy becomes more and more man each movie, and like that's the next.
We're not worthy.
Yeah, the next movie is gonna be his creature feature of just his dick. But as far as favorite scenes go, I might have to go with that ice sequence when they crash the plane, and then they have to survive this feathery dinosaur in the ice. It was pretty suspenseful as far as Jurassic Park, Jurassic World suspense goes. So I appreciated that.
The climax, I wasn't really like entertained by. I was like, all right, that's cool.
There's a moment where the music cues in, and it's the same music from when in the first movie when the T-Rex is roaring and it says when dinosaurs ruled the earth. It's the same musical cue, but you don't feel any of the emotions that you felt from that 1993 film that you do in 2022, and it's just so disappointing and so hollow. Like we said, shallow, hollow, whatever you want to call it. Everything about this movie is a disappointment in almost every category. Final grade, Kevin, what are you giving this thing?
Very, very low. I'm going to even be a little bit more generous, only because the chemistry was good, the dinosaur scenes were good, and there was a lot more dinosaurs, just not enough of them. Not at all the concept that I wanted. I was going to go 3.5, but I'm going to go 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3.5.
Yeah.
Because the script, it's inexcusable. These locusts come in, the dinosaurs take a back seat. The runtime just drags. You get bored. You can't believe that you're bored watching this, and it's just inexcusable at this point in cinema and blockbuster history. It's unforgivable, and they should be ashamed of themselves, honestly. And in our Fallen Kingdom review, I said it was the worst of the franchise. This was supposed to be the payoff of getting through and suffering that movie. Yeah. And that movie's better than this movie, which is unforgivable.
What did you guys think about Jurassic World Dominion? Let us know in the comments below. Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Twin Talk. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below to join the discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time. Peace!